Hey Finxters, it's Ben and I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to take you through the TryHackMe box, the second one in the Alice in Wonderland series. It's called Lookingglass. And this box has a lot of interesting things going on in the hacking. It includes a Finxter cipher. It also includes SSH keys as a way to get into one of the accounts. And also there's some highlights with Python. One of them is using it to do a simple task, reversing a string. But it's interesting how many different ways you can do it and how efficient it can be. And also scripting bash commands via Python. So the beginning of this box, you do your nmap scan and you find that there are tons of ports, like thousands of ports open, and you need to locate the secret port that has the poem Jabberwock. And to do it, each time you go into the wrong port, it'll give you a code lower or higher. And you figure out through the course of this that you need to do the reverse of what it says, actually, because it's a looking glass, which is a mirror, so everything is reversed. I did this a few times by hand, and sometimes it took a while to locate that correct port, even going with the most efficient method of hitting the middle and then either the middle above that or the middle below, and then narrowing it down systematically. So I saw in some other users' walkthrough, one user named Taylor had actually scripted out on Bash a way to automatically detect that port via the bash script. So I did some thinking about how I could translate that into a Python script, and some research led me to a method to do it, which I'll go through in detail in the next video, which I'll use to focus and to isolate that Python script and just talk about ways that you can control bash via Python. So anyway, hope you enjoy the video. And let me know.
Let's go ahead and jump into it. Today we're doing the Lookingglass walkthrough on TryHackMe, and I'll highlight some ways that I use Python to script my initial foothold into the correct SSH port. So let's go ahead and start. First, we'll load up our nmap, or our OpenVPN, rather, so that we can connect. Let's see here. It should be there. Yep. All right. So we're connected. Let's double check that. Yep. And now we'll open our notes file. Offensive sec. And we're doing the Lookingglass Finxter walkthrough. Okay, so as always, let's start with recording our IPs. Ten 10.6.2.23. Our target IP. We have to start up our machine. Wait for a minute. Let's go ahead and look at our challenge here. Climb through the Lookingglass and capture the flags. We need the user flag and the root flag. So we can export that first one while we're waiting. Try echoing that back just to see if it worked. Yep. It did. Let's prep our notes for our enumeration phase. And we'll prep our command too. We'll do sudo nmap. Let's do T3 for speed. PN for skipping. I think that skips the ping scanning. If we don't put it, we'll get an error message probably. And then we'll need our target IP. And we're up and running. Let's grab that target IP up here. Okay, now our nmap scan. We'll let that run for a minute. No targets were specified. That's strange. Did it not like my variable there? Let's try typing it. Or maybe it's a word order thing. 10.6. I see what I did. I copied the wrong IP there. 10.10.102.236. Let's export that. That was a clumsy mistake. Now we should be able to run this command. Okay, we'll give that a minute. See if we can, yeah, put that on top. Oh, wow, that was fast. All right, we'll copy our results here. Tons of open ports. Paste anyway. Lots of open ports. So let's just try one to see, but they range from 9,000 up to, let's see, 13,783. So let's try connecting. Okay. And for that command, we'll use let's do a sudo ssh root at target IP -p for port. And let's go for the top port there and see if this works. Got our notes on the bottom now. Unable to negotiate. Port no matching host key type found. Their offer sh-rsa. So we can add a extra flag here to get around this issue. And I believe it's O host type. Let me double check. So in our folder, I do have a few scripts that I've already prepared. Lookingglass Finxter. And I'm just going to peek into our, let's look at the shell script actually first. So yeah, here it is. Flag O host key algorithms equals plus SSH-RSA. That's the thing that's going to get us around this issue here. no matching host key type found. Let's modify here. Make sure I can see this whole box too. Otherwise, I'll get the command wrong. Every letter matters. Host key algorithms. Okay, I think this should do it now. Let's try it again. See what happens. This is an unusually huge amount of open ports. So I think this is going to be the first part of the challenge here, is to figure out where to get in for the foothold. Give that a minute. We can make this window smaller because we're not really using it for anything. Are there hints? There's one hint. Let's check it out. O log n, a looking glass is a mirror. And it's called Lookingglass. So maybe something's going to be flipped, like the way mirrors flip your image. We want to connect, yes. Higher. Well, that's strange because I chose the highest port. We can't go any higher. So this must be the flipping of it. So it probably higher means lower. And instead of spending half an hour trying to figure out which one to get into, let's use a script that's a shell script that another user wrote. And then in the next video, I'll highlight for you how I translated a shell script into a Python script. So we can actually use Python to control the bash command line and SSH in an automated way into the correct port. This is really important for this box because I found I had to try many, many times to get in successfully. And it actually has a function that resets the password every time you log in. So you have to go through this whole process each time. Without a script, that can become quite cumbersome. So here's our script, and we'll just use it. Actually, let's look at it first, and we'll tweak the parameters. So here we've got a low 9,000 for the port and a high of 1380. Is that it? Is that the one we just were in? 1383. Let's change that. Okay, so our parameters are correct. And then it has a loop here, while true. This is a bash script, by the way. I'm pretty new to bash, but because I know what the functionality should be, I can guess sort of without really knowing the syntax of what's going on here. So it's going to calculate the mid port between the high and the low. It'll try, it's spelled wrong. It'll try to connect to the mid port. And then depending on if it says high or low, we'll do the opposite and hit for the mid again between that mid and the high or the low of the last one. This way we can most efficiently, through process of elimination, get it down to the exact port without wasting extra time. So I think we're good here. I added this host key algorithms equals plus SSH dash RSA to get around that issue that I'm having on the command line. Let's run it. So I'll save that with our new parameters, bash script. And actually, wait, do I have to put in, I forget if I have to put in the IP. No, it has target IP in the code there. So I think we're good to go. Just bash script. Oops. Bash script.sh. Okay. It's working on it. This could take a minute. Great, it worked. Okay, so it's trying to connect there, comes back with lower. Now it's going to shoot for the higher point from that range. We'll see if this one comes back closed, higher. Now it's going to go lower. And we should be to our target port soon. I'm just saying yes to add those ports to the RSA key fingerprint. Now we're at port 11671. 11661. We're getting there. See how much time this is saving with the script? So it's hanging. Maybe this is our port 11666. That's probably it. Let me make a note of that. And see if we press anything. We got it. So yeah, it looked like it entered in a blank for the secret, and of course that's incorrect. What did we get here though? You found the real service. Yes. Okay. And then there's Jabberwocky, which is a poem by Lewis Carroll, and then some kind of a cipher here of the original poem. So Jabberwocky. And it wants a secret. Okay, let's just Google Jabberwocky real quick. Oops. Jabberwocky poem. This going around here. And I'll copy in this text from the output. Solve this challenge to get access to the box. One thing I noticed right away is that it looks like each paragraph has 4 lines. And maybe that's a stanza. We've got 444, 4, and then here there's a 5th line. So maybe there's something hidden in there. Let's check the original and see how many lines. Yeah, it's 4. So probably our key is somewhere in this last line. We have the cipher text here, the plain text over here. We don't have the key to crack the cipher. So let's turn back to the internet for a minute and see if we can find a site that'll help us to find that key or secret that's hidden in there. And we can decrypt this last line, grab our password for our secret for this, and then we should be able to get into this box. Okay. So let's search up cipher key. Let's see. Cipher. Maybe we can first identify. Let's try this first hit here. Okay. We'll put in our ciphertext. Analyze it. So these are the top kinds of ciphers. Unknown cipher. It could be a bifid cipher, or maybe a Vignere auto key cipher. Let's try this one. So we put in the message here. We don't know the key. Auto solve without key. Let's try that. So I'm looking on the right here to see if there's any readable text that might appear in the original Jabberwocky in the plain text. And I don't see it. So it looks like we haven't cracked it yet. Let's take off that extra line. Text options. Auto key variant. Maybe that'll do it. It said it was an auto key one. Nope, nothing yet. Let's try the other kind of cipher that it suggested. Let's see. Drop that in there again. Analyze our text. What about the bifid cipher? See if we can decrypt it here. No. Okay, we'll keep searching here. Just going to grab one more Tilex window here. Maximize our screen real estate here while we work. Let's just try a different site and see. I'll give this one more shot here. Analyze the text. Decode. Auto solve. It is English. Old English. So a lot of information about ciphers here. I'm not going to go in depth with this. Really, I just want to get to the next stage here. View the instructions. Ideally, we'd have a tool where we could put in the original plain text, the cipher, and then crack for the key. Doesn't seem to be an option right here. Let's try the Caesar cipher. Maybe this will work. Nope, nothing's coming up from Jabberwocky. Okay, we'll keep going. Unknown cipher. Maybe we can use this. Is there something here? Unknown format. No, none of those really fit the bill. I think we're dealing with the Vignere cipher. This tool seems not to quite do it, though. Maybe if we, not sure why this would make sense, but let's take that last line off and try to auto solve. No, doesn't work. Let's try the auto key variant. No. All right, we're going to switch tools here. Maybe this one can tell us for sure which kind of cipher we're dealing with. Polyalphabetic substitution. Auto key. Huh. That's pretty cool. It has probabilities. So let's go to our Vignere again. That explains it. But we just want to crack it at this point. Okay, that's only an identifier tool. Crypto crack. Okay, Vignere, cipher, decoder without key. Let's try that. Okay, let's try this site. Okay, we've got our cipher, break it. Oh, the language is English, classical Vignere, auto key. I think auto key is what it was suggesting there. I don't know the key length. Clear ciphertext. Nope. Okay, here we go. Let's try to break it. This looks like a German site. That's not the poem. Let's try the other kind. Classical Vignere. Hey, we got it. Okay. 'Twas brillig and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. So the clear text key is the alphabet cipher. And down here it says your secret is beware the Jabberwock. So that's what we need to type in. Here, let me just save these two things. This is the cipher key. And then beware the Jabberwock is our secret. Okay, we got it. And I'll just make a note of this site too. Oops. Okay, cracked it. And now let's go back in with that same command we used for our target port. Okay, I guess the variables don't jump between terminals, so we'll have to export it one more time if we want to use this new terminal. Target IP. And again, we'll run that. Is that the right target port? I feel like maybe it's not. One one six six six. Yeah, let's change that. All right, let's prep our secret to go in there. Hey. Whoops, it looks like I copied that incorrectly. Let's try that export again. And then our search, or our SSH rather. Now we'll prep our secret. Oh, still doesn't like it. Let's echo that out, our variable, and see if it's still in there. That's incorrect. Export target IP equals, and target IP is 10.10.102.236. Now it should work. Okay, and when it asks us for the secret, we know what it is now because we've cracked that cipher. Beware the Jabberwock. And now we have some output here. It looks like a username password combo, presumably for the SSH. And let's go ahead and test that theory. So we'll write a new command over here, SSH, or actually sudo SSH Jabberwock at target IP, and then I think that's it. And then we'll paste in this password here. Jabberwock's password. Whoops. Mention prettiest, calmer, better. Sounds like a auto-generated password. And we're in. Jabberwock at Lookingglass. Okay, so I'll call this our initial foothold. Okay, and if this shell breaks, I'm going to have to go back, use the script again, find a new target port, and find a new auto-generated password. So let's see if we can do it without it breaking. And we'll begin our enumeration again here. Let's see what we've got. This over. There's a file, a shell script, twas brillig. There's a poem text and a user text. Let's see if we can cat that user text. Oh, so this is it looks like a flag in reverse because usually it's THM, TryHackMe. So here we can use a bit of Python to reverse that string. Let's see if we have Python. Ah, we do. Okay. We'll say text equals and then we can use the step command with a -1 for in reverse. We'll say text. And here we'll put ::(-1). And remember with Python slicing, the first one is the start point. The second would be the upper limit -1. And then the third one is the step value. -1 means you start at the end and you go to the beginning. So in reverse. There we go. We got it. Here's our flag. That's our user flag. So we're halfway there. And again, I'll just copy this Python output here so we can see how I reverse that string easily. A lot faster than doing it by hand. I've already dropped the flag in the TryHackMe answer box, so I won't do that again. But if you're doing it for the first time, you'd put it down here. All right, now we're going for the root flag. So we have to figure out our privilege escalations. Let's see what else we can find on this box. Get out of Python there. So yeah, let's cat the poem. Huh. So that's the clear text version. Okay. What else is there? 'Twas brillig. Let's cat that out. Wall. Poem text. Okay. I'm going to check for any permission misconfigurations or special permissions using sudo-l. Interesting. So user Jabberwock may run the following commands on Lookingglass. Root, so as root, no password, sbin reboot. So I can reboot. Let me copy that output here. And it shows us our path as well there. Just save that in case we crash. Let's see. So we can reboot, but how would that help us? So we can check for cron jobs or cron, I think it might be cron tab. Let's see. We'll go back here. Let's see what other users there are too. Tweedledee, Tweedledum, Alice, Jabberwock, Humpty Dumpty. It's a lot of users. Right now we're Jabberwock. I'll just make a note of our users. Alice, Jabberwock, Tweedledee, Humpty Dumpty, TryHackMe, and Tweedledum. Do word wrapping there. Okay. I think it's in the Etsy file folder. I mean, let's see if there's a cron jobs. Yeah, cron tab. This is the file we want to look at to see what scripts are set up to run automatically. So let's nano that out. Cron tab. Interesting. Okay. So I'm just going to make a note of that. Etsy cron tab. And that reveals this interesting detail here that at reboot, so on the reboot, Tweedledum user will run this file, 'twas brillig, from our folder. So it's looking like because we have reboot permissions, we can hijack this process and create something that'll spawn a shell as Tweedledum. So we can escalate our privileges over to Tweedledum, and then continue to enumerate. All right, I'll just make a note of this detail here. Okay. Let's go back into our home file. We are Jabberwock, and we'll see if we can edit the "twas brillig." Yes, we can. And I will add here, we want to spawn a shell. So let's try import OS and OS dot. Spawn a shell. Let's see. This is a shell script. Let me check my rev shells, and we can create one here. This is a really awesome resource for making one-liners to put in for spawning shells. So our IP address, in our notes, go to the top of our notes. Okay. My IP, 10.6.2.23. We can leave it on port 9001. We can use netcat for the listener. And we know we've got Python 3 on this system, so let's just use it. Python 3, number 1, that looks good. Okay, so here's our one-liner. Oops. And we'll drop it in here. Actually, we don't need to import OS here. Okay. Okay. So we've saved that. Now let's get ready with our netcat listener. Set it up down here. Here it is. LV and P. P for port, which is the last one, 9001. Is that working? That looks strange to me. Let's try another one over here and see what happens. Maybe I need a sudo on there. I don't know. Couldn't set up listening socket. Maybe because there already is one. Let's see. Okay. Usually I think it would say listening on 0.0.0.0, but let's try it. Presumably it's active and listening. So now what we need to do, make sure we've saved our "twas brillig." Let's check our permissions on that, see if it's executable. It is. So we don't need to change anything there. And now we'll do our reboot. At the bottom of my notes. Reboot. sbin/reboot. Okay. And right here, failed to set wall message. Failed to reboot system. Interactive authentication required. Huh. Maybe I have to do a sudo because I do have sudo permissions. Sweet. Okay. It's rebooting. And with any luck, this netcat listener will catch the reverse shell within a minute or two when it's back up and running. So we'll just hang on here. Is it going to do it? Let's see. Yep, IP was correct. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Maybe it's a really slow to restart machine. I don't know. It's been a little while now. Let's check in. Just trying to log in to see if it's up and running. Looks like it's not, so it's probably still restarting. I'm a little worried this listener isn't actually functioning. Let's try 9,000 over here. Nothing still. Looks like the machine is up and running now, but no reverse shell came through. Let's change our listener. We'll try PawnCat. I haven't actually used this one ever, so we might have to install it. Yeah, it doesn't have it, so let's install it. Ooh. Let's see if VA has it. It has it. Netcat on steroids with firewall. That sounds sweet. Definitely want that. And it looks like we're good to go. Interesting. So here we need a flag M. No module named PawnCat. Why didn't that work? PwnCat. Let's try sudo. No. User bin Python 3. So I think what we have to do is use pip install to get PwnCat as a module in Python. Pip? No pip? Okay. Huh. All right. Well, let me back up a step here. All right, let's figure. So when in doubt, Google it. Getting started with pip. I'm using Arch, so I'm just looking that up. Okay. Sudo pacman s for install python -pip. All right, so we'll grab pip. Okay. Now we'll do pip install poncat. But pip doesn't know it. Valid or corrupted package. That's not good. So the install failed. So this is a real rabbit hole here. Excuse me. Let's put on the Y for dependencies. We'll say no that time. Huh. All right. Using poncat isn't quite as simple as I thought. Let's check in with our command here. Whoops. No module named poncat. So we still don't have it in our Python 3. Pip install. Huh. Still no luck with the pip. Let's see. Doesn't look that complicated. There's no Python 3 there, though. Maybe we need a Python 3 pip. Python-pip. See if it's installed. It's not. Recommended tool for installing Python packages. Okay, let's do that one. Sudo pacman sy python-pip. Same message there. Errors occurred, no packages were upgraded. So it's a problem with the PGP signature. Let's see how we solve that problem. One of the reasons I chose to use Arch is because a lot of people use it. So you can Google almost any problem and they'll tell you what to do. Looks like we're updating the keyring because the signatures are the problem here, PGP signatures. Okay. Let's do that. We'll update the keyring, see if this helps us. And now we'll try our pip install again, Python pip. Nice. Yeah, it went no problem. Okay. I'm going to do pip install. What was it? Poncat. Defaulting to user installation because normal site packages is not writable. Okay. Looks like we have it already, which is kind of weird. And let me grab that rev shell again here for putting up the listener. Still says no module. Pip is working. A lot of options though. You could use Metasploit too, MSF console. But I really want to try Poncat just because I've seen other people use it. And apparently it's better than Netcat. Okay, so it does recognize that we have Poncat now. Poncat. Maybe I don't need to do the Python 3-M LP. Let's try it like that. Nope, it doesn't like that syntax. Listen port. Hostname port. There's no P there. Let's try just with the L. Huh. Same behavior as Netcat. It's not telling me that it's listening. But I guess we can try it anyway. So let's log back in to Jabberwock, and then we'll try to reboot the computer with that Twas Brillig shell script modified to have the reverse shell on reboot. Okay, it's asking me for Jabberwock's password. My guess is it's probably already changed, but let's try putting in the same password from before. It looks to not be working. Well, let me give it a second. Sometimes there's a bit of a delay. Connection reset. Oh, so that was us, I guess. Wait, was it? Was it us? 10.6.2.23. No, wasn't us. That was right. That was actually the host machine resetting on port 22. So that was me when I was in there as Jabberwock. Let's run our shell script again and see if we can generate a new password. I guess we can connect on that same port first and see if it goes through. Okay. Okay. Going back through. Here we go. See if I've still got my variables in there. Yep. Okay, we'll see if this port has changed yet. I think they change it automatically after you log in successfully each time. It appears to not be working. So let's run our shell script again. Let's see, got to be in the right directory. Lookingglass Finxter. And we'll do bash script.sh. Okay, we'll go through that sequence again. Script is having some trouble here. We'll just do our Python script that I've already translated and tested here. But I do need to actually go in there real quick and just make sure our IP is set correctly. Okay. Let's see. Target IP equals. So instead of that, we'll put target IP there. Okay, and we'll come back and look at this in detail in the next video to see how this script works. Okay, doesn't like the syntax there. So maybe I can't use the bash variables in Python scripts. That's all right. We'll just hard code it in this time. Or I wonder if maybe quotations would make it work. Target IP. Let's try that. No, it doesn't work. Huh. It says you found the secret port, but I don't think we even tried a single SSH. Okay. This time we'll hard code it in. So our target port is over here, 10.10.102.236. Right, and we'll run it again. This time it should work. Trying port 11.395. Maybe I can put in 0.0.0 for listen on all IP addresses. What's I doing over here? Forget, was I running a script? Looks like we are running it. So let's see, we've got over here, that's our OpenVPN. Huh. Script is not functioning as it should. Let's check our ports. Maybe I shot a little too high on there. Yeah, that's actually above what's available. Let's try it again. There we go. Now it's working. So this script does the same thing as the bash script. It's just written in Python. It was an interesting challenge to see how to design it to have the same functionality. So we'll be in soon to the target port. Then we can drop that secret in because that'll stay the same. So I'll prep that over here. The secret is beware the Jabberwock. Looks like I can 10.077. Host key verification failed because I didn't type yes. So let's run it one more time. I should have typed yes. Okay, still working on it. Looks to be hanging here on 10.643. Maybe that's, or 10.718. Wonder if we hit the key port. Let's test it over here. Still up there on 10,718. All right, we'll test it here. That is my dog. She's tired of this challenge. Just wants to go outside. My guess is that we hit the port here. But we'll see. Whoops. Okay. 10. Cancel that. Syntax is wrong. 10,793. Yep, we got it. Oh, it's actually 10,718. Something broke there. It says broken pipe. All right. Whoa. All right, my dog's going to help now. She doesn't want to stay on the ground. Nope, that wasn't it. Let's see. We can put a new range in. 793 to 718. Okay, that's our range. We'll run it again with our new range. These hacking tools, sometimes you need to run things multiple times before they actually work. Because, things weren't designed to be hacked. So these tools don't work 100% of the time. But a lot of times it's just human error. Okay, we found it. 10,720. Update this. Okay, and we'll SSH back in. Our password, and then the secret. Get that ready here. Beware the Jabberwock. Now you see why this script is so important. Not working. Let's cancel that out. Try it again. Try it over here too. See which one is faster. Whoops. No, I don't know if I still have that saved. Echo target IP. Yeah, I do. Oh, you know what? I don't want to do. Yeah, I do. I do want to do root at target. Okay, I'm making progress here. Secret is beware the Jabberwock. This box is rated as a medium difficulty. Here's our new key pair. That one finally worked, but we don't need it anymore. Ooh. Oh, I wonder if it'll be the same if we logged in. Let me check just to be sure. See if it generates a new one or not. It's the same. Okay. So let's replace this here. And we'll get back to our privilege escalation and use the pawn cat to hopefully catch the reverse shell on the reboot. All right, we're going to sudo SSH back in now. Jabberwock's password. Difficult. Mark chest trembled. Okay, now let's check our Twas Brillig again. See if it's still in there. It is. Okay. Just double check with our rev shells. That looks good. Let's check at the top here. Yep. So we wanted to go to our machine, port 9001. Got that pawn cat listening there. Oh, wait, no, that's the listener shell. Pop this out here. So we did the Python 3. Looks good. Yeah, nothing changed there. We can use different listeners. Out of curiosity, let's see if this command runs or not now. Whoop. That's not what we wanted. Still doesn't think we have that module. So that may be something we have to fix, but for now, looks like we're all set. So let's reboot again. Sudo, what was it? Check. Let's see. Use page down to go faster. sbin/reboot. All right, so we just caught the reverse shell. We are Tweedledum currently. We're going to try to upgrade our shell so that we can see it in color, and then we'll switch users over to Humpty Dumpty. So first, let's use these steps here for upgrading a shell. But yeah, I think I forgot the extra quote last time. Let's see if this works. Cool. Yeah, so we've upgraded, but we still need our colors. So we'll use this command over here. Term equals xterm 256 colors. Okay. Let's try now a switch user, Humpty Dumpty. And it needs the password. And if you remember back, we discovered this, what appears to be a hash here. And then we have the plain text poem. There's an extra line here. The final line, if you look in a cracking program like CrackStation, you'll see that it was able to crack the first, 7 lines. Maybe one of these is the password, but then the last line is unknown. So I go over to a different site like this one, CyberChef, drop in that last line, and turns out this one is a hexadecimal encryption. So decrypting that gives us our password here, and I think this is for Humpty Dumpty. So let's try that. See if I've got it correctly here. Oh, no, didn't get. Let's try that again. Copy. Okay, now we've got it here. Cool. We're in as Humpty Dumpty now, and we've got the upgraded shell. So let's go into Humpty Dumpty, see what's going on. Okay, back up here. Oh, that's odd that the Jabberwock there looks like it's a bin, an executable. Let's check permissions on that file. Stretch this out so we can see what we're doing. Wow, so full permissions on the Jabberwock directory. And we've already enumerated Jabberwock, so probably this is going to lead to nowhere, but let's just take note of that. And the other strange thing is this executable permission here on Alice's directory. So that means we can execute files or bins within the Alice directory as user Humpty Dumpty. That's probably going to be the attack vector that we're going to follow going forward. So let's see. We upgraded our shell. So now we're going to try to get into the Alice directory. Let's see if we can. It says that we can only execute, so probably we can't read. Yep, we don't have permission to read. So what could we do? So we're going to check and see if there's any SSH key hidden in Alice's file, and we can read that by catting it out, running the cat program on it. So let's try. Let's take a look, see if we can cat -home -Alice this is a hidden directory, SSH ID RSA. So that would be, and we got it. So there was an SSH key in there. It's encrypted. Let's copy and paste. All right, my dog wants to help us again. All right. She'll keep crying if I don't grab her. Okay. And let me just print that out here. And the formatting on these RSA key files is important. Otherwise, it won't read correctly. So make sure you do have this begin RSA private key line and then the end RSA private key line. So now the question is, where do we save this file when we are trying to move over to the user Alice? Let's see if we have any special permissions here. Let's go into our Humpty Dumpty file. There's a poetry.txt. Excuse me. So this is about the poem. It looks like probably it's from Alice in Wonderland. Not sure how that's going to help us. I wonder if there's a hidden file in the poetry.txt. So let's make a directory here. .ssh. And we'll create a new ID underscore RSA file here. So same file name. Okay, now we're going to drop in this key. Okay, save that. Okay. All right, back in our Humpty Dumpty folder. Excuse me. So let's check our sudo permissions here. Oh, needs that password again. Okay, so we can't run sudo. Let's see if we can SSH over using this key now. Or actually, we need to, from a new terminal, I think we need to SSH into there. So let's try from here. And we'll create that file here again. Oh. All right, let's grab it one more time. Okay, looks good. Okay, so we've got our file. Do we need to change permissions on it? I think read permission should be enough. So let's get our syntax correct here. SSH. We're going to try to go in as Alice at target IP. Okay, let's try it just like, oh, and then I think we need a flag for our key. Let's check on the help file for SSH. We can see what that flag should be. Okay. Just save our command here in progress. SSH. Actually, yeah, we can check it down here from Humpty Dumpty. Okay. Maybe it's -I for identity file. I think that's probably it. So we'll do SSH. Okay, I'm going to do it from here. cancel that one. -I, and then do dot, actually RSA underscore, actually it's ID underscore RSA. And we're in. So we use that private key file, actually a copy of it, to get straight into there without any password. Okay, looks like our shell is downgraded again. Let's see if we can add color. I like to see that popping color. Oh, it's asking me for Alice's password. Permissions are too open. It's required that your private key files are not accessible by others. Huh. So we need to find a way to bypass that that function of ignoring this private key file. We're close, but we're not quite there yet. Huh. All right, I'm back after a bit of research here. I think my hunch was incorrect, actually, that read permissions is enough to be able to use that private SSH key to get in as Alice without her password. Another user suggested changing file permissions with commod 600, which gives read and write permissions to the owner, which is me because I just created the file. So let's add that to it. It's up here. Right. So we'll do commod 600 and ID. Okay. Check it. Okay. So we have read and write permissions now. Let's go back and try our SSHing again with that key. And it worked. Awesome. So, okay, lesson learned. You need write permissions to be enabled to use a private SSH key. Lots of learning happening at each step of the way here. We're Alice now, so let's see if we can do a sudo -l. We don't have the password, so we can't. Okay, well, let's look around. Are we in? Yeah, we're in Alice's home. Alice, good. Let's check our hidden files. There's that .ssh. Let's cat the kitten text. She took her off the table as she spoke and shook her backwards and forwards with all her might. It really was a kitten after all. I don't know if this is any kind of hint here. We'll save it just so we have full notes right here. And I'll make a note here that we did a commod 600 to the ID RSA. So this added write permissions to ID RSA. And then we ran our SSH command to get in here. This one. We're in. Let's check for other funny business here. We can check on our sudoers.d file to see if there's any special information. Etsy sudoers.d. That's a folder. Let's take a look. Okay, so there are some different entries. Tweedles is a new one. Let's see if we can cat the Alice. Ooh, this is probably going to be our attack vector going forward here. So Alice can use this host name to run as root bin bash, so we can spawn a shell. It's like this was created just for us. This will be super easy. Before we do that though, let's cat Tweedles and see what's going on. We don't have the permissions. How about Jabberwock? No permissions. Okay. Well, let's follow up with the host there, that alternate host. So we can do a sudo-l with that host name to see what permissions there are. Unable to resolve host. Now it wants my Humpty Dumpty password. Oh, I did it on the wrong terminal. Okay, so this is, I think, the same information. Alice may run the following commands on this host as root bin bash. All right, so we're going to go ahead and issue the command now to spawn a shell as root. Sudo -h for host, and then that crazy name, /bin /bash. Oh, unable to resolve host. Okay. Where do I need to be to run that file? So we can run it as root with no password. Alice may run the commands on SSALG. It's Lookingglass backwards. I wonder if I need to reverse it or something. Let's see. Oh, looks like our shell. Oh no, we're back. Sudo -l -h for host, SSALG GNIKOOL. Unable to resolve host. I wonder why. Oh, it's because we already are root. It said unable to resolve host, but the whole time we've been in root sitting here. I should have seen that. Who am I? We're root. Let's see where that flag is. Go back out to the base directory, root, and maybe it's root.txt. That's what it usually is. And it's still backwards, so we'll use our Python to reverse that again. We have Python 3 here, so we'll just do x equals, and we'll put in the string, and then we'll reverse that string, x, whoops, ::1 for a step of -1. That'll read it in reverse. And there we go. TryHackMe. This is our root flag. And that brings us to the end of this box. This one I thought was really fun. There were a bunch of things that were new to me. And again, reading other people's write-ups has been extremely helpful, and also just really fascinating to see how you can solve these boxes in different ways using different tools. So just like any good game, there are lots of routes to the goal. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for hanging in with me this long. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to reach out to me via Finxter. My email is benjamin dash james-reitz at protonmail.com. I'll type that for you here. benjamin.james.reitz at protonmail.com. And that's it for today. See ya.